Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about why JavaScript is so popular and how it evolved over the years. So let's start at the beginning. So roughly around 25 years ago, we were using the static websites, right? Just built with HTML and CSS. So there was no JavaScript. So there was no user interactions. If we wanted to do something based on a user's input, we can't do that. So that's when the JavaScript came into the picture, and it gave us an ability to interact with the users and to animate, to fill a form, to autofill a field. So those kind of things were not possible without JavaScript, and it evolved over the years so much that now we are using so many client-based frameworks to improve the client-side programming. To say some examples, we are using a React.js, Vue.js, Angular.js. So these kind of frameworks, helps give us an ability to increase the performance when it comes to rendering. And here we are using a reusable components as well, and the code maintenance is very easy now more than ever. And so this not only in the client side programming, if you see the server side programming in the early stages of JavaScript, it was not matured, it was not stable, so people didn't take JavaScript much seriously when it comes to server side programming. So then came the Node.js. It created an impact, and basically Node.js is a JavaScript runtime which is used for server-side programming, and we can write programs, server-side programs completely in JavaScript, and it was backed by Google's V8 engine, which takes care of performance, compilation and everything. And it was a huge hit, and the community for the JavaScript and Node.js started growing day by day from then. We have around 1 million plus node packages in NPM, and with the knowledge of a web developer, say like if you are becoming a web developer, you would learn JavaScript for your client UI animations and all, right? So say like you can reuse the same skill set for server-side programming. Would you take it or not? So that's the question. So it is a huge advantage when it comes to use a single language for both client-side programming and as well as server-side programming as well. Until that point, people were using mostly Java or Python for server-side programming, and Node.js suddenly got picked up, and there was a huge community as well. And it didn't end there. Basically, JavaScript was used in mobile applications also. Previously, if you wanted to build a mobile application, if you wanted to build an Android application, you would learn Java. If you wanted to build an iOS application, you would learn Swift or Objective-C. So nowadays, you can just write a JavaScript code and convert that code into Android application or iOS application of your choice just by using frameworks like React Native or Ionic framework. So this kind of flexibility of using the JavaScript across multiple areas like client-side programming, server-side programming, mobile applications was huge when it comes to developing an application. To say some examples for mobile applications which are developed by JavaScript, I would say that Instagram, Facebook ads, Skype, Tesla, as well as that Airbnb. So these kind of popular applications were built by JavaScript itself. And finally, when it comes to learning, JavaScript is very easier to learn for beginners, and it doesn't have complex syntax like Java and C#. It is very much easier. The syntaxes are like Python, and every year more and more features are getting released in JavaScript, which makes the syntax more easier for the developers. To say some examples, we have got arrow functions, async await, rather than using that falling back into the callback hell. Now we are using promises, async awaits, those kind of features we are using that. So it is very much easier for the code maintenance and for a new developer to pick up a new language. So these kind of things were easier with JavaScript. And for a learning materials, I would say we got around a lot of free materials in YouTube and online course platforms like Udemy and all. Unlike other programming languages like Java, like we were here to install JDK, Java JDK to use that language to see for ourselves. We don't have to do that for JavaScript. We can just use the Google Chrome browser and open the dev console of that and start writing JavaScript right away to learn that. So it is very much easier to learn. I think if you are a new developer or you are a developer looking to switch to JavaScript, I think this video might have gave you some context to start on. If you wanted to know more about JavaScript, please subscribe to my channel. I would planning to include more content based on JavaScript. Thanks for watching. Cheers.